Hello, my name is Andrian Gonzalez, a student of BSBA, major in Information Management System, and I am here today to present my presentation for the course project. I'll start with the problem solving through flowcharts. What is flowchart? Flowchart is a type of diagram that represents an algorithm, workflow, or process. The flowchart shows the step of boxes, various kinds, and their order by connecting the boxes with arrows. This diagrammatic representation illustrates a solution model to a given problem, and this is the flowchart sample. And you will begin with the start, data, decision, process, predefined process, connector, of page connector, and how to use flowchart. Number one, draw a starting shape to state your problem. Number two, draw a decision shape where you can ask questions that will give you yes or no answer. Number three, based on the yes or no answer, draw arrow connecting the possible paths you can take to work through the step individual processes. Use of flowcharts in programming. Flowcharts graphical representation of algorithm. Programmers often use it is a program planning tool to solve problem. It make use some symbols which are connected among them to indicate the flow of information and processing. The process of drawing a flowchart for an algorithm is known as flowcharting. And my second topic is handling primitive data types. Introduction. Handling data is similar to handling where we store and retrieve them. In computers, the data is stored and retrieved in the RAM. Programming language make this possible through variables. Think of variables as a box where we can store valuables in them. In this case, the valuables we stored we store within variables are values. Handling variables. We handle variables like we handle real world boxes. When we take a box in real world, when we take a box in real world that we plan to use as storage for our valuables. In programming, we declare the variables when we place our variables in the box. Programming, we assign the used variable. When this assignment is done, for the first time, we are initializing the variable. When we take our variables out of the box in programming, we are retrieving its value. Primitive data types. Primitive data types in C++ are classifiable in integers, floating points, and characters. This classification is based on what specific values are allowable integers, floating points, and booleans, numerical values, whereas characters are textual values. And integers. Integers are values that are numerical in nature. They do not have decimal precisions. Some examples of these are counting numbers, including zero. Under integers, we have the regular integers, long and short data types. Uh, table show mean the table below shows the minimum and the maximum values allowable for the integer values, both signed and unsigned integers. And these are the tables that shows the maximum and the minimum values allowable. The next is floating points. Floating points are values that are numerical in nature. They also support decimal precisions. Some examples are temperature, body mass index, and height. Table below shows the minimum and maximum values allowable for floating points values. And here the table, you can see the maximum and minimum allowable for the floating points values. The next is booleans. Boolean values are values classifiable to either a true or false. These are numerical in nature because C++ stores them as 0 or 0, often in 0, 1. Internally, true value for booleans are considered as non-zero positive integers. False value for booleans are considered as 0. They usually use as flag for a specific scenario. They use bool identifier. Next is characters. Characters are the only primitive data type that is textual in nature. Regular characters can only represent one character per variable. Strings can be represented as a series of characters. This is why in programming language such as C++, a string is declared as an array of characters. Characters use char identifier, whereas string use char variable syntax. And my last topic is what about if? What is the purpose of if-else statement in C++? An if-else statement controls conditional branching. Statements in the if branch are executed only if the condition evaluates one non-zero value. If the value of condition is non-zero, the following statement gets executed, and the statement following the optional else gets skipped. What is the statement in C++? I'm sorry, what is the if statement in C++? The if statement allows you to control if a program enters a section of code or not based on whether a given condition is true or false. One of the important functions of the if statement is that it allows the program to select an action based upon the user's input. And how do if statement work in C++? C++ has the following conditional statement. Number one, use use if to specify a block of code to be executed if a specified condition is true. Use else to specify a block code to be executed if the same condition is false. Use else if to specify a new condition to test if the first condition is false. And that's it. That's my presentation for the course project for the computer programming subject 1. Thank you. I hope this is good.